Yeah, I know, Cowboys fans. This one is a tough pill to swallow, but alas, I am here to soothe your worries a little bit. We have a film study done by Okoye Media, one of my trusted people within the Cowboys community, as he breaks down Brian Schottenheimer's scheme against Dan Quinn's scheme. And I'm going to be honest, hopefully by the end of this reaction, everyone steps away from the ledge, they put their gallons of bleach down, and they just sit back and watch, and are willing to give Brian Schottenheimer at least a shot at this thing to see what he can do. Because at the end of the day, I know we're upset at Jerry, but we should not take it out on everything else around Jerry. Keep your frustrations directly on Jerry. Don't make Brian Schottenheimer pay for the sins of his owner. Let's get right into this. And again, big shout out to Okoye Media. Be sure to check out his channel. It's going to be linked in the pinned comment below if you want to get a better look at his film studies on just various things outside of this one. This one was really well done. And so yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and inform the audience a little bit, shall we? All right, man, let's see how many minds we can change. All right, let's see. I know a lot of y'all are still on the ledge. I know you have your phone in your hand as you're looking over the edge of the cliff right now. Let's see if you can get a couple of feet away from it. Let's check this out.
This is a Dan Quinn versus Brian Schottenheimer breakdown. We're going to get a good look at what our offense can do against our current defensive scheme, man. With some, slight changes, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be different on tweaks here and there on both sides of the ball. But this was Dan Quinn's last year with the Falcons versus Schottenheimer's last year with Seattle.
I'm going to point something out right now. As soon as we get into this, I'm going to tell you right now, I automatically love the way that this play is drawn up as far as what Schottenheimer is running with the Seattle Seahawks. This is what I was talking about in my show from earlier. You can tell here, everything done within this play is done for a reason. It's done to actually help another player within the play get open without them having to necessarily beat man coverage. These are get your player open type of plays. You see this guy running across the formation right here. I'm sure Quay is going to break it down, but this guy running across the formation, that's going to act as a clear out for number 26 that's sitting at the bottom of the screen right there on that 30-yard line. And that running back should be wide open coming out the backfield right there. And he should only have that linebacker trying to trail him, but that action by the man going across the formation, I'm sure that that's going to cause some problems. But let's get into this, man. I'm kind of excited to see this, bro. Schottenheimer is not McCarthy. I got to say this again. Schottenheimer is not McCarthy. He was just running McCarthy's system.
Just to get a good look at what we should be getting here. And I like what I see. First thing you'll pay attention to is guys are always open, man.
Look at that.
And that is saying a lot. Like you see there's two wheel routes at the bottom of the screen. They ran that linebacker out of there, and then boom, you had that running back underneath. And here you'll see Lockett's going to run those guys off at the top.
Look
and
at that.
When he does that, you see Metcalf is, it's just a foot race between him and Jones underneath, and he's going to win that. So those are things I like to see, like how they scheme.
Look at the leverage. Yeah, look at the leverage. Look at the leverage that the play created. The play itself created this leverage just by all the action that was going on. And this is the type of thing that Brian Schottenheimer meant by he wanted to make the defense play the entire field. This is a perfect example of that. Bro, we probably not even going to have to do this whole thing. We're probably going to do a few minutes of this reaction because I can tell you right now, these plays, bro, I'm liking it.
Scheme, there's not a lot of teams that I can say other than us, really, who weren't doing things like this. But I was dying to do a lot of these rub routes and misdirections and the things that give.
So you hear a lot of rub routes, a lot of misdirections, a lot of things that get players open naturally without the player having to beat that one-on-one man coverage, man. That's exactly what you want. And so for anybody that was concerned about him having an archaic scheme like a Mike McCarthy, no, Brian Schottenheimer is someone that has updated his Rolodex as time went on, and it shows through his play calling.
Us fits to someone, and it's like we were playing kind of like just win type of football, man. Sort of like you see on the outside here, these are the type of routes we run everywhere, right? Those fade routes in this particular scheme are just window dressing, so that they can hold those corners and work the middle of the field.
Right.
Everything here was
normally we would see guys across the field, like Okoye said, across the field, we would see guys running the same exact route. And what happens when you have guys running the same exact route? All the defenders are the exact same depth. All the defenders are exact same part of the field, which creates harder throws for your quarterback. But if you have situations like this where you have these fade fades going to the outside. This is going to hold the corners. This is going to make the corners stay true to that responsibility. They're not going to be able to cheat and help on any of these underneath routes because they got to make sure that the guys on the outside don't break them, right? Then you got all these guys essentially coming across the field. And remember, one of the easiest ways to get open in the NFL is to make guys run across the defender's face. You run across the field, and you're going to naturally have guys come open. Watch.
One, let's manipulate those safeties and linebackers. And two, give Russell Wilson somewhere quick to go with the ball if those things don't work.
Right.
And pay attention to the pattern or the direction of those check down routes. You see the running back is running almost the same route as this dig here from Lockett. Why? Because Russ doesn't have to look or in a different direction to get rid of that ball to
it's all in the same line of sight. So what he's saying there, that's important. And this is the details that comes with an experienced play caller. This was some of the issues with Kellen's offense. This is the issue you can see with Jalen Hurts. If you watch the game with Jalen Hurts, I'm sure this upcoming weekend, one of the issues you're going to see is when he's going through his reads, he literally has to turn his head and go through his reads. A well-designed offense should have it to where it's almost like a tunnel where you can see multiple guys in your line of sight as you're looking in one direction, and you have guys at different depths so that their defenders aren't interacting with the play in the wrong way. But this is really good breakdown.
Same rhythm. He doesn't have to make a different read to hit his check down. And there's usually 2 to 3 players open on any given play so that Russ has options based on the progression of those routes. And that's something that I think is understated for Schottenheimer because they're telling.
Look at that, wide open, tight end.
He can't. He's not a thrown. He can't create. And Russ wasn't cooking. Russ had 40 touchdowns and 13 interceptions this season, in this particular season that I'm looking at. And I think I'll be happy with that if that was there. So no problem. You'll see similar concepts to that last one there where just slight little tweaks just,
it's an option.
Make a difference. When Russell Wilson came to the bottom of his drop,
the tight end was already damn near at the boundary. That's the difference. And that's the difference when you have guys running option routes. There's that slight half second of hesitation. And football is a game of half seconds. It's a game of milliseconds. If you have guys trying to, okay, all right, I need to do this because I'm getting this type of coverage, or the linebacker is leaning this way, or the leverage is telling me I need to do this. You have that slight delay. This is what happens. You get Dak at the bottom of his drop and guys right on dude's hips. As opposed to the previous play we just saw, the same exact type of concept essentially, but the way it's designed,
2 to 3 players open.
The way it's designed, you're going to see when it's actually run, the tight end, by the time Russ gets to the bottom of his drop, and he actually doesn't have like even a deep drop on this because he's already in shotgun right here. But the tight end's already out there. There was no decision that needs to be made. The defender was already on top of Russ. No decision needed to be made. The tight end was already out. He was already open and out there. And it's not like that was just an all-world tight end. So that's the type of stuff schematically that we can kind of expect from a Brian Schottenheimer offense. Now, let's keep going. Let's keep letting Okoye cook, man. Okoye out here cooking, man.
He put that foot down. He doesn't have anywhere to go with the football.
Exactly.
And that's not.
And this is something that we've continued to see. This is the type of thing that people are like, oh, you guys defend Dak Prescott. Look at where he has to go with the ball, especially based off of where the play is called, how you're supposed to actually run the play. If you're supposed to start your progression on the right side of the field, you're not going to immediately see a CeeDee Lamb sitting open at the bottom on the other side of the damn screen, man, because that's not where the play is designed to even go in the first place.
Something we'd like to see, but we saw this quite often in Kellen's scheme. It's either feast or it's famine, and guys standing around after doing comeback routes, stuff like that. And that was a 3rd and 7 route. There was no scheme to get anybody open, and there was
look at this. Look at the play. Look at the play design right here, y'all. Just look at the play. Look at the play design right here. Guys running across the field, which again, if you watch the NFL, if you know football, this is one of the easiest ways to get guys open. Is if you have a receiver with any type of athletic ability at all, bring him across the front of the face of the defender and have his ass running laterally. If that is the case, you are already going to naturally create some separation right there. Now it's up to the defender to try to be able to jump in front and undercut the receiver. But this is the type of stuff that you like to see right here. I love to see these type of concepts. This is the type of stuff we didn't see enough of in Mike McCarthy's system. And you can just see all the different actions that's going on right here. So let's take a look.
Wherever Dak looks, if there's pressure, there's nowhere else to go. And you see how the running back and this drag route are converging in the same direction. although this one is going to the running back early, these type of routes help you
Boom.
move an offense up.
Look at
the field.
that. Look at
you
that.
don't have to always.
Look how open. Look how open the man is back there. Now, can you imagine an Ashton Genty right there in that position? He might go to the house off of this play right here if this is Ashton Genty. This is what I'm talking about. This is the type of stuff that once you get past the name, once you get past the shock value, and when you actually look at this and break it down and you see the actual results that's been put on film, the empirical data. When you look at the empirical data, Schottenheimer, he has some stuff to it. I'm sure this is part of the allure that Jerry got caught up in that made him want to make this decision. I'm sure Schottenheimer went to the office and told Jerry, he probably already had a list of things like, hey, we should have did this, and this with all the players that you got us, and we would have been this much better. And we probably need a little bit more of this. We can do this. But for the most part, I feel like I could have got a lot more out of this roster. And that's probably exactly what Jerry wanted to hear. And Schottenheimer probably had a detailed plan of how he could have gotten more out of the guys on his roster. How he could have used a Hunter Lepke in this type of scheme right here. How he could have used a Kevontae Turpin on some of those clear out routes. How he could have used CeeDee Lamb in multiple different ways. So this is what I'm saying right here, bro. We got to chill on the shock value aspect of this. And just give the man a chance, support our head coach, and don't hold Jerry's sins against him.
Always hit home runs. Sometimes just get the ball into your playmaker's hands.
Yep.
And we already know when you got guys like Tony Pollard on the field, you got guys like CeeDee Lamb on the field, they can get the ball in their hands and make big plays.
Big plays.
And make you pay for not being sound. And I think Tony Pollard in the open field is a lot more dangerous than a guy like Carson. So, no disrespect to Carson whatsoever.
And this is the older video, obviously.
Not so long career. But this is something else. The return
Look at
of the
that
screen pass, man. I don't know.
Look at that. Screen passes. We talked about this. Screen passes. So, I just going to stop it right there. You can go watch McQuay's full video if you want to see the full breakdown, man. I'm not going to give you all the goods on my joint. I'm going to stop it right there. But the screen passes, that's something else that we needed to see a return of. And look how that play was actually ran. It was coming off of like a screen play action. He ran a play action, rolled out, and then turned back around and flipped it back. And look how wide open the running back is. Look how many blockers he has out in front of him already. If you execute that, bro, this is a potential touchdown type of play right here. So Brian Schottenheimer has some stuff in the bag. It's just about us giving him a chance to show us what he has in his bag. It's going to be interesting, but this is what to expect from a Schottenheimer type of offense, especially he's the head coach for the first time. Just know we're going to see a full Schottenheimer influence, and you're going to see a lot of this type of stuff. And I think that Schottenheimer, this could honestly end up being a blessing in disguise for Dak. Maybe Dak knows what's best for him. This could be a blessing in disguise. I'm willing to wait and see. I just want to say this. Jerry, if you're going to go cheap with the coaching search, man, you got to balance it out by going crazy in free agency, man. Like Jesse Holly said, you got to rent them all out in free agency if that's the case, bro. You got to go crazy in free agency. If this is what you're giving us, you got to generate some type of excitement, man. You got to generate some type of excitement, but I'm okay with this. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of okay with this. This is essentially what we've been asking for as Cowboys fans schematically. This is the type of scheme that we would want, and this type of scheme that he would bring along with all the different motions and just different actions, the rubs and different stuff going on. Love it, love it, love it. But either way, we speak the same old Cowboys until we not. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boy? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.